Staying at Saratoga Springs might not be on everyone's Disney bucket list, but maybe it should be. It's a Disney Vacation Club resort that flies under the radar. No monorail, no castle views, and no over-the-top theming. But what it does offer is space, serenity, and one very underrated location. We've stayed here quite a few times now, and while it's not perfect, there is a lot to appreciate. In this review, I'll walk you through what makes Saratoga Springs special, where it falls short, and whether it's worth booking your next Disney stay here, especially if you're using or renting Disney Vacation Club points. If you have any questions at all about the resort, ask below in the comments. I'll be sure to answer everyone. Before we get too deep into it, just a reminder, if you're planning a trip to Disney World, check out my link below for undercover tourists. They consistently offer cheaper prices than Disney Direct and are super easy to deal with. On the screen, I've got a quick comparison. As you can see, every little bit of savings helps. First impressions. Saratoga Springs doesn't hit you with that big wow moment when you arrive, and it's not trying to. Instead, the atmosphere is calm and peaceful. It feels more like an upscale vacation condo community than a themed hotel. In fact, Saratoga Springs was once the Disney Institute, repurposed into Disney Vacation Club property in 2003. The architecture is inspired by the real Saratoga Springs in New York, with Victorian-style buildings, soft pastel exteriors, and subtle horse racing motifs. You'll see jockey statues, weather vanes, and stabled-inspired details, but it's all very muted. If you're expecting Mickey topiaries or loud Disney theming, this isn't that resort. But for a lot of people, that's the appeal. It's a relaxing place to come home after a long day in the parks. The landscaping is lovely with plenty of water views, bridges, and quiet walking trails. You might even hear birds singing in the morning, not something you'll get at more bustling resorts. There's a sense of peace and quiet here that you just don't get at many other Disney resorts, and that might be one of its biggest selling points. The rooms. Every room at Saratoga Springs is a villa, which means even the smallest accommodations come with more amenities than the standard hotel room. Studios include a queen bed, with most also including a pull-down Murphy bed, a kitchenette with a microwave and small fridge, and updated finishes. One bedrooms and up add full kitchens, laundry, and a full living dining area, ideal for longer trips or families who need that extra space. The rooms were refurbished in 2021, so now they feel brighter and cleaner. Hardwood-style flooring, white furniture, pastel walls, and subtle art featuring horses and nature give the space a more contemporary look than before. It's not heavily themed, but it does feel fresh and comfortable. More vacation home than hotel, which makes perfect sense considering it's a DVC resort. And honestly, that's a big part of its appeal. If you like having a separate bedroom, a place to eat breakfast, or a washer and dryer for swimsuits and sweaty park clothes, this setup makes a huge difference. That said, the quality of your stay can really depend on which section of the resort you're placed in. The resort is huge, and I mean huge, and some buildings are a 10 to 15 minute walk from the main amenities. Congress Park is closest to Disney Springs, while the grandstand is great if you want to be near the main building and pool. You don't want to leave your building request to chance at this resort. I'll talk about this in more detail in the location section, but if you want to be close to a bus stop, pick the Paddock or the Carousel buildings. The location. Saratoga Springs is one of the only Disney resorts that you can walk to a major dining and shopping district, in this case Disney Springs. That's a huge perk if you like dining at top restaurants, grabbing drinks in the evening, or browsing shops without relying on the buses. The walk is scenic and safe, and there's even a boat option if you prefer a more relaxing ride. But here's the catch. When it comes to the theme parks, the location isn't ideal. You'll be taking buses to all 4 parks, and because Saratoga is so spread out, there are a whopping 5 internal bus stops before you even leave the resort. That can add a lot of time to your travel, especially during peak hours. The buses are reliable but not quick, and there's no Skyliner, monorail, or boat access to the parks. If you're the type who wants to rope drop every morning, this might be frustrating. That said, if you're planning a slower paced trip with a mix of resort time, shopping, and a few park days, this location works surprisingly well. Just be prepared to build in a little extra time traveling when you're heading to the parks. The order of the bus stops for the theme parks is the Grandstand, followed by the Carousel, the Paddock, Congress Park, and finally the Springs. And for buses to Disney Springs, the order is usually reversed. Dining and amenities. Saratoga Springs isn't a dining powerhouse, but it has some solid options. The main quick service is the Artist's Palette, and honestly, it's underrated. It's casual, easy, and offers a decent range of food, especially for a DVC resort. There's also a table service restaurant called the Turf Club Bar and Grill, which is decent but not destination worthy by any means. It's often quiet and can be a good option if you want a relaxing, no reservations needed dinner. For drinks, the Turf Club Lounge is cozy and low-key. Not the most exciting place, but nice for a wind-down cocktail. The real highlight, though, is the proximity to Disney Springs. Your walking distance to some of the best food on Disney property, from Homecoming to Wine Bar George, to quick snacks like cookies from Gideon's Bakehouse. As for amenities, the pools are fun and well-themed, especially the paddocked pool, which has a great slide and pool bar, and there's a spa and fitness center too. One of the few full-service spas on Disney World property. There's also a golf course on site if that's your thing, plus bike rentals and quiet walking trails. The only real downside, it's a big resort, and if you're placed far from the main building, it can be quite a trek to get food, go to the pools, or get on the buses. If your room is located far away, they will be more than happy to drive you places in their golf carts. Just ask the cast members nicely. Value for money. Saratoga Springs is often one of the best values in the deluxe category, especially if you're using or renting DVC points. You get significantly more space than a typical hotel room, and if you're staying more than a few nights, the kitchen and laundry save you time and money. Room rates for cash bookings are still high by normal standards, often $400 plus per night, but they're much lower than the Grand Floridian, Beach Club, or the Polynesian, for example. If you're renting DVC points, the value increases dramatically. We're talking luxury condo-style stays for the price of a moderate resort. This isn't a wow resort, but it is a smart one. You get a lot of comfort for your dollar, especially if you're the kind of traveler who doesn't need constant simulation or theming. So who is this resort for? Saratoga Springs is best for DVC members or renters who want the best value per point, families who need room to spread out or cook, guests who love Disney Springs and want walkable access to dining, and travelers planning a slower paced or longer trip. It's not for first-timers who want to feel immersed in Disney theming, guests who plan to rope drop every park like we do, and families with little kids who need tons of on-site entertainment. If you want a quieter, more laid-back stay where your room feels like a home base instead of a place to crash, this might be the perfect resort for you. Ratings. Here are my ratings out of 10 for each category. Room quality, 7 out of 10. Spacious and updated, but not as Disney themed as other resorts. Dining, 6 out of 10. On-site dining is just okay, but Disney Springs access is truly a game changer. Amenities, 7 out of 10. There's pools, spa, golf courses, and quiet walking trails, so it's a solid lineup. Location, 6 out of 10. Great for Disney Springs, but not great if you're going to the parks like we do, hence the low rating. Atmosphere and ambiance, 7 out of 10. Relaxing and quiet, but lacks some Disney magic. And value for money is where Saratoga really shines at 9 out of 10. Especially good with DVC points. A lot of space for a lot less money. That brings the overall score for Saratoga Springs to a 7 out of 10. And there you have it. Now you've got a clear idea of whether Saratoga Springs is right for your next Disney World trip. Have you stayed here before? What did you think? Did you love the space and location, or did the buses drive you crazy? Let me know in the comments below. And with that, I'll see you on the next one. Bye!